Forget everything you think you know about why gold is skyrocketing. Most people believe they already understand what's happening. But the truth is, the real story isn't being told on TV, and it's not being explained by financial experts. The mainstream media is missing the full picture, maybe by mistake or maybe on purpose. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you the untold story, the hidden reason why gold is breaking records and surprising even the smartest investors. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand this, you'll never look at gold the same way again. Most people think they know what gold is. To them, it's just a shiny metal, a kind of safe place for your money when things look uncertain. They see it as insurance, something you buy when you're scared about the economy. And yes, that's partly true, but it's only the surface. What's happening right now goes far deeper. Something much bigger is unfolding, something almost no one is talking about, and it's changing the meaning of gold in our world today. So let's take a step back and ask a simple question. Why is gold hitting new highs when, according to every expert and textbook, it should actually be falling? The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates, cutting liquidity, and fighting inflation with everything it has. That should make gold weaker, not stronger. Higher interest rates usually make people move away from gold, since gold doesn't pay interest or dividends. Yet, despite all that, gold is exploding in price. Why? What is really going on here? That's exactly what we're going to uncover today. So before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button, because this is a story most investors will only realize when it's already too late. Let's begin with something simple. Gold doesn't produce anything. It's not a company. It doesn't invent new products, build new technology, or create services. It doesn't pay dividends or interest. It just exists. The same piece of gold that someone held in ancient Rome would look exactly the same today. You can't upgrade it or improve it. It doesn't change. That's why many people think it's boring or outdated. But here's what most people miss: gold's value comes from that exact unchanging nature. While every empire, every currency, and every financial system has risen and fallen, gold has quietly survived them all. It has protected wealth through wars, collapses, inflation, and political chaos. That's not luck. It's because gold doesn't depend on anyone's promise. It's real, it's physical, and it can't be printed or erased. Now, to understand why it's exploding today, we need to look at what it's measured against: paper money, and specifically the US dollar. Go back to 1971. That's when the United States officially ended the gold standard. Back then, 1 ounce of gold cost about $35. Today, that same ounce costs thousands of dollars. Did gold change? No. The metal stayed exactly the same. What changed was the dollar. Paper money, unlike gold, can be created whenever governments want. And every time there's a crisis, that's exactly what they do. They print more. In 2008, during the global financial crisis, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet ballooned from about $800 billion to several trillion. That was a turning point. To save the banks, the Fed created money out of thin air, and something fundamental broke. People began to lose trust in the value of the dollar. Fast forward to 2020, another crisis even bigger. This time, money printing went into overdrive. The Fed's balance sheet exploded to nearly $9 trillion. The supply of dollars went vertical, and again gold's price followed. Not because gold suddenly became more useful, but because the dollar, the thing we use to measure value, was losing credibility. Now here's where things get truly strange. The Fed is now trying to reverse course. They've been raising rates, reducing their balance sheet, and talking tough about fighting inflation. If you believe in traditional economics, gold should be falling. But it isn't. It's doing the opposite. It's climbing faster than ever. So what's going on? Here's the truth the mainstream never mentions. This isn't just about inflation or interest rates. It's about a much bigger shift: the global loss of faith in the dollar. For decades, the US dollar has been the king of currencies. Every country used it as a reserve. Every bank stored wealth in US Treasury bonds. It was considered the safest asset on earth. But in the last 20 years, that trust has been fading. And in the past few years, it's been collapsing at record speed. Take China. Once one of the largest holders of US debt, China has been quietly dumping U.S. treasuries and replacing them with gold. Not a little, but hundreds of billions worth. Why? Because gold can't be frozen or sanctioned. It doesn't rely on the American banking system. It's freedom in physical form. Look at Russia. After being cut off from the global financial system, Russia turned to gold as its lifeline. The central bank now holds one of the largest gold reserves in the world. And again, the reason is simple: gold can't be controlled by another government. Even India has joined in. For decades, India's reserves were mostly in dollars. Now they're steadily adding gold, preparing for a future where the dollar may not be the world's default currency. Many other nations are quietly doing the same, buying gold month after month, building reserves that will protect them from whatever storm comes next. This right here is the real reason gold is exploding. It's not about a few investors chasing profits. It's about governments and entire nations moving their wealth out of paper and into metal. They're preparing for a world where the dollar is no longer the center of the global system. And it's not only countries. Wealthy individuals, hedge funds, and even regular savers have started doing the same thing. They see what's coming: endless debt, growing deficits, and a financial system that depends on printing money to survive. And they're asking the same question: do I really want my savings tied to this? Over the past 25 years, gold's price has risen from about $279 an ounce to over $3,500. That's more than a 1,200% increase. Meanwhile, U.S. national debt has exploded past $30 trillion and keeps climbing. No one seriously believes that debt will ever be repaid. History tells us there are only two ways out: default or print more money. And governments always choose to print. That means the dollar will keep losing value, and gold will keep gaining it. Does that mean gold will hit $10,000 overnight? Probably not. Does that mean gold will hit $10,000 overnight? Probably not. But does it mean its long-term direction is upward? Absolutely. Because this story isn't about gold becoming stronger. It's about paper money becoming weaker. So next time you see gold's price on the news, don't just think of it as an investment. Think of it as a mirror reflecting the world's fear. It's a thermometer showing how hot the financial system is running. And right now, that temperature is rising fast. The media will keep pointing to inflation reports, interest rates, or temporary market swings. But those are distractions. The real story is the deep global movement away from paper money and toward something real. That's the real reason gold is skyrocketing. It's not just about what's happening this week or this year. It's about the next decade, maybe even the next generation. So ask yourself this: if the biggest economies on Earth are preparing for a post-dollar future by hoarding gold, shouldn't you wonder why? Shouldn't you ask what they know that most people don't? Because by the time the answer becomes obvious, it may already be too late. So if you want to stay informed and protected, subscribe to this channel and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your view. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only. Your decisions, your results. But one thing's for sure: the world is changing fast, and gold is quietly showing us the direction it's heading.